The Senior Lights class is up next, and at Wigan last time out we saw a 1-2 for the Lay brothers. Martin asked them if that has ever happened before and about the competition between the pair.
It's our first 1-2, which was quite a surprise really. We didn't have the pace throughout the day until the final, so no, we're really pleased with it. Great performance, and I'm also happy for James for finishing second, obviously.
And James, at the start of that event, did you think you were going to come second?
Not at all. I had a bad Saturday, and I managed to pick it up in qualifying, and then just bit by bit pick off people, and I ended up second somehow.
And how competitive is it between the two of you?
Very competitive, yeah. It is quite close, surprisingly. So.
And from your point of view, do you always win against your brother?
Not always, but I aim to. That's the aim. You know, you can't really let younger brother beat you all the time out. But James has done incredibly well because he's got a bit less experience than myself, though he has had a bit of mentoring over the years, which has helped.
And you've come second today in the qualifying. Does that suit you? What's the track like for you?
I like Llandow. It's the first circuit that I ever drove an Easykart at. It suits both our styles. It's quite technical. I'm hopefully looking forward to the day, and we should hopefully come away with more points than we arrived with.
And James, you're fourth on the grid. The timings are really tight. If you look at the timings, they're really, really close. Are you optimistic?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a race between the top four, but there's a lot of opportunity to overtake, so I think the lead will swap a lot of times.
What's it like trying to manage two sons?
Not easy, to be honest. But the only rule is they don't take each other out, which didn't work at Shennington, unfortunately.
Are they sort of naturally competitive, or has that sort of built up as they've got older?
No, they're both very, very competitive, equally, and they both want to beat each other more than beat everyone else, unfortunately.
Michael and Ralph Schumacher, eat your heart out then. Here we go for Easy Lights. Jack Golding and Sam Massey on the front row of the grid with James Lay alongside the E-plate, Kieran Mcculloh, Dan Walden and Matthew Pearce, Grant Hunter and Robert Newman with Beryl Smith and Zaromkas there in the top 10. Patrick Lay down in 18th for this one though, so that's going to be a really interesting fight back. Here we go again, a good start down towards the first chicane, the hook, and it's looking very tight indeed. On board with Mantas Saromskas, a little bit of a touch there with Jake Wellesby, who manages to get through in the first couple of corners. Just keeping an eye on Patrick Lay, I think it is, further down the field. Up to 15th position, I make it. He's got past 3 carts in 3 corners, so in 2 laps he'll be leading. That's the equation there. Jack Golding won the pre-final at Wigan, of course. So we've got to keep an eye on him to work his way through to victory once again. On board with Zaromskas once again, focusing in on Jake Wellesby, currently just outside the top 10 in the points. Up the inside comes Massey, takes the lead off Golding, temporarily at least, because Massey, the current championship leader, he gets beaten on the undercut there. Now, this is Zaromskas, that is Patrick Lay in front of him. My prediction is very nearly about to come true here. He's going that quickly through the field. He is absolutely romping to the front of this one. And remember how good they were at Wigan. The Lay brothers were 1 and 2. So what if we were to get that again? It was the first time that happened. If it happens again, my word, they'll be dancing in that family household. Matthew Pearce, 4th position at the moment, missed round 2 at Wigan, so now he's getting himself right back into the action on the back of the E-plate there, Kieran Mcculloh. So good little battle developing just behind these two leaders, and in 5th position, James Lay, the 250. If he looks behind him in a couple of laps' time, he might see his brother. He's charging through that quickly. He's actually up to 12th place at the moment. We're on board with Mantas Saromskas. That is Lay in front, and that is him making the move on Wellesby. Yep, very nicely done. Into the hook then, the left-hander, and he's up to 11th position already. Take a look at that. 18th place on the grid, 11th in the race, and we've only had 3 laps. Amazing stuff. So still, Jack Golding out in front, Massey in 2nd place, the E-plate and Mcculloh there in 3rd, and 4th position, that is Pearce. 5th position, James Lay getting a lot closer to these two now. On board with Zaromskas again, on the back of Jake Wellesby. He's got a good opportunity here into Raymond's to make the move, but Wellesby is doing well to defend. And again, the top 5 getting away from the rest of the pack. There seems to be a bit of a pattern developing here with the races today. Doesn't happen every time, but certainly here at Llandow, once the top 5 or 6 carts get a break, they just seem to stretch out the advantage to the rest of the chasing pack. But fortunately for us, as we go back on board with Zaromskas, that doesn't dissipate the action in the midfield. We're still getting some great battles in the lower positions as well. Golding, Massey, McCulloh, Pearce and Lay is the top 5 at the moment. Or is it? No, I think that's Lay, having got past Pearce now. Up to 4th position then goes James Lay, and he has the nerve to signal to him, come on, let's get after the top 3. That's got to be the worst thing a kart racer can see just after they've been overtaken. Add insult to injury, you're now asking me to work with you to push us forward to the chasing pack. If that was me, I wouldn't want to work with you. I'd want to clap you around the ear in frustration. But never mind, Pearce has got to do so. He's got to work with his rival there to try and push further to the top 3. Still Golding out in front. Massey 2nd, 3rd McCulloh, 4th Lay, 5th Pearce. And in 6th position, that is Tom Snape on the 157. So he's actually broken clear of the pack behind him, and he might well join this fight as well. He seems to have got some good pace in the last couple of laps. He could join this scrap for the victory, and it is a scrap for the victory between these 5 because Golding is not pulling away as quickly as I thought he would. Massey is going with him, and those two actually are starting to get away from the E-plate of Kieran McCulloh, and it looks as though we've got ourselves a very interesting fight between these two. Worth mentioning, Sam Massey still there in 2nd place as he goes through the hook. Just in behind them, Kieran McCulloh, the E-plate, trying to fend off from Lay and Pearce. Now, Kieran McCulloh, 41, based in London. He's married to a very famous woman, in fact. Helen Beard, the world-famous potter who makes a lot of money from ceramic dishes. Now, just think, if you're married to someone as famous as that, who can go and sell her wares down the market for a few quid, that can pay for your karting. So very, very useful to have someone like that keeping you honest in the world of motor racing. So Kieran McCulloh, the E-plate, trying to chase down these two. Sam Massey still closing in on Jack Golding, trying to make an overtaking move. Easier said than done. On board with Zaromskas once again. Just in front of us is still Jake Welsby. And are we going to get a couple of karts going for a manoeuvre into the hook once again? Zaromskas having to be so positive on the steering through the left-hander. It catches you out. It's very easy to lose the back end of the kart through there, and you have to be very, very quick to respond when it snaps away from you. Many a great driver has lost it and ended up in the grass into the barrier there, even through the ebb and flow of a race like this. So out in front then, still Jack Golding. And here comes Lay trying to get the move done on Kieran McCulloh as well, the 250. Working very hard indeed here, James Lay. He might get a run into Raymond. He hangs back for the moment. Still in 4th position then. And he needs to get a move on because Matthew Pearce is just in behind him there on the 9. Now, where is James Lay's brother Patrick? How far through the field has he worked at the moment? We'll have a look at the leaders. Let's see if we can find... Oh, contact! No, that is James Lay making the move on Kieran McCulloh. Unbelievable. So McCulloh gets going again. James Lay is out of it. Oh my word, he manages to recover, but that is a chance of victory snatched brutally away from him. Unbelievable. So now up to 3rd position then comes Pearce, and up to 4th comes Grant Hunter in the 257. Who's that on his back bumper? That is Patrick Lay, up to 5th position. That is unbelievable, very close indeed. And as one brother falls by the Lay side, the other surges forward. That is incredible. So Patrick Lay now picks up the torch and he starts running after the podium. He's not far away from it, but that's not on his mind right now. He couldn't care less about the podium. He is only interested in a victory. He's charging his way through. He's almost there. He's got time to do it as well. So he might just get there. He's having a little look into Chandler's. But Grant Hunter is no lean racer. He is going to charge hard as well to try and get onto the podium himself. He'll want an opportunity to get past Pearce. So it's very much these two guys. Now, you just saw Kieran McCulloh go through the picture. So he's in the midst of the midfield, outside the top 10, but he has got an opportunity and time to work his way back through the field. So don't be surprised to see him crossing the line in the top 10 later on. He has got time to do it. Up the inside comes Patrick Lay into 4th position. That was beautifully timed. And he actually came from halfway through the braking zone as well. So he really read that situation well. He saw the smallest gap he could go for and went for it. Absolutely brilliant. And that's how you win races and win championships. So great work there from Patrick Lay. Again, Kieran McCulloh just getting himself in the midst of the battles there. That is the 220 of Jay Hudman. And there's the E-plate of Kieran McCulloh as we go right on board with Mantas Zaromskas. So Zaromskas has lost another 2 places on that last lap. First of all to Hudman and then to McCulloh as Patrick Lay closes up on Matthew Pearce in the 9 once again. Here comes McCulloh up the inside at Raymond's. He's going to get the move done. Very nice. He gets past the former British Schools karting champion, Jay Hudman. He almost managed to get him back again, the 18-year-old. Very close indeed. Back at the front and into third position has gone Patrick Lay. So he is chasing down the leaders now. Oh my word, he might actually go all the way to the top here. That would be absolutely amazing. And he's now signalling to them, come on, we can still do this. Keep the faith, keep the hunger. We can catch these guys. He is a great motivational tool for Pierce and Hunter right now. He's actually managed to get past them and gone, don't worry boys, we can still get them. Let's go for it. But that is a huge gap that he needs to close up on them. Golding and Massey have a massive advantage. Worth talking about Massey actually in second place still. He may not be leading, but he's been there or thereabouts in the top 3 every weekend so far this year. He won the pre-final at the first round of the championship, and ever since then he's been pretty much on or around first, second, third position every single weekend. Fernando Alonso was always brilliant at that in his Ferrari days, just bringing in those podiums, keep on at the top of the table, and at the end of the season that puts you right in the firing line for an attack of the championship. It's great consistency and it's superior maturity from Sam Massey to just get the best out of each race as it comes. You've got to stay in the fight throughout, and that's how you increase your chances of going for the title. And look at the gap that Patrick Lay has already pulled away on Pierce. He's leaving them for dead. What's he put in that car? Has he got some nitrous in there we haven't found out about? Interesting, but he's definitely going a lot quicker than anybody else around the circuit right now. Pierce still trying to hang on in front of Grant Hunter, but Hunter's now seeking an opportunity. Pierce desperately trying to hang on as they make their way through McQuarters, through Lancaster, and into Chandler's once again, onto the Spitfire straight. And Lay has got a huge mountain to climb to get closer to Sam Massey in second place. He's really going to have to work at it. And look at the gap, it is massive, but if anybody can get rid of that advantage, I have a feeling Patrick Lay has already nailed his colours to the mast. He wants to go for it, so it's time to do qualifying laps now, one after another, to eke into that gap. And there are 7 laps to go in this race, so not only has he got time, but he's got commitment and dedication to the cause as well, so he could get there. He's currently looking at third position, but if I know Patrick Lay, that isn't good enough. He's going to go for the win. Up the inside, that looked like Mcculloh making the move there for 9th place on Richard Evans. I think he got the move done there. We'll have to look as they come around again. Behind the top 5, that's Walden in front of Chivers. Zaromski's in 8th, and there is Mcculloh. So yes, Mcculloh in 9th position, just in front of Richard Evans, and the orange bodywork of Jake Welsby in the 218 in 11th position at the moment. There's your leader, there's second place, and there's third. So Golding, Massey, Lay. And there is a big gap between first and second, and a bigger gap between second and third, with 6 laps to go, It is going to be a very tall order for Patrick Lay to get into the lead of this race. But I wonder, has Jack Golding, look, he looks behind him to see where Sam Massey is. I wonder, has he pushed too hard? Because he seems to be losing a little bit of time here. Are the tyres starting to fade on him? Because here comes Sam Massey, and Patrick Lay is catching them now. It's visibly coming down this gap. So I wonder, have the 2 leaders pushed so hard to get away from the rest of the field that Patrick Lay has actually looked after his tyres better, despite fighting his way through the field? That will be absolutely amazing if he can actually throw a bit of a spanner into their works. 5 to go. And we'll have to keep an eye on this. Patrick Lay genuinely in with a shout here of taking more than third position. I thought it was all done and dusted up front. I could be wrong. Here's Pierce still holding on in front of Grant Hunter. And looking back into 6th position, that looks to me as though the 241 of Dan Walden has actually now dropped Keith Chivers in 7th position. So up to 6th place has come Walden, doing very well. And he's actually closing in on this battle for 4th position. Looking back, there's a huge gaggle of karts in the line, all chasing them down as well. Chivers in 7th, Zaromskis is 8th from McCulloch, Evans, Welsby, Hudman, and then at the back is Tom Snape in the 157, just making his way through the picture there. 4 to go. How about this? Patrick Lay has reeled in Sam Massey. He's right on the bumper now. This is absolutely incredible driving. His lap times are astonishing. He's going at least 3/4 of a second per lap faster consistently here than Sam Massey at the moment. He's done an absolutely brilliant job here to close down this gap. And with 4 to go, I'm not entirely sure Sam Massey's got a hold on this second place. Lay can seize an opportunity here into the chicane. Surely he's not going to get a run into Raymond. He is, you know, down the straight. He is going to have him napping here. I'm not sure Massey's going to see him coming. Here he goes, he pops out and takes the place. Very nicely done. And is he going to be able to shut the door in time for Massey to come through? That's critical. Yes, he does. He shuts the door just in the nick of time. Now that possibly could have won him the race there, because if he's now got time to close in on Jack Golding up in front. If Massey had got back through, that would easily have stopped him from catching the leader, but now he's through and he's disappearing. Look, the gap is already 2 to 3 cart lengths. He is flying away. Come on, let's go after him. Patrick Lay is absolutely romping around this racetrack, and I'm not sure Jack Golding's going to have an answer for him either if he eventually gets there. Now the question is, has Patrick Lay got the time to close up on Jack Golding and take the place away from him? I would say probably at the moment the answer is probably no, but all it takes is one little mistake from Jack Golding. With 2 laps to go, the pressure is on him at the moment. Patrick Lay might just get a whisker of opportunity, and you can bet that if he gets a window, he's going to jump straight through it and take the lead. So it's going to be very, very tough indeed for Patrick Lay to close up, but it's going to be even tougher for Jack Golding to withstand the pressure. And talking about pressure, this man, Matthew Pearce in the 9, he's got some serious pressure too from Grant Hunter, who is still all over the back of him. It's been this way for about 6 or 7 laps, and Matthew Pearce has had enough in the bag at the moment. Patrick Lay, fastest lap, 43.8, no surprises there. And it looks to me as though Mantis Saromskas, look, he's lost a place as well, I think. Kieran Mcculloh has gone through into 8th position, I believe. Looking back to try and see, the E-plate is there in 8th place. Into the last lap we go. Here comes Dan Walden battling with, I thought that was Chivers initially. It's not, it's Anwar Beryl-Smith, my apologies. So Beryl-Smith giving huge quarters to Walden in this last lap, and he's going to be gunning for that 6th position. He's worked very hard indeed through this race. Look, it's Jack Golding out in front. He's even got time to just adjust his helmet, make sure everything is A-OK on this last lap. He's got time on his hands here. Only a mistake is going to cost him victory now. Down to the hanger straight for the last time and into Raymond's. He looks behind. He's got plenty of time on his hands. Into the final turn. It's plain sailing for Jack Golding in the end. Great victory and a fantastic win, but you have to take your hat off to Patrick Lay. Fights through to 2nd. 3rd place for Sam Massey, again, a very strong podium finish there. Pearce is in 4th position in front of Grant Hunter, and just at the end, Walden managing to hang on to 6th position in front of Anwar Beryl-Smith. Some fantastic battling between those two throughout this encounter. The E-plate, Kieran Mcculloh comes through for 8th position, just in front of Mantis Saromskas and the battling Richard Evans. A fantastic drive from Patrick Lay. He is my driver of the race, but out in front, commanding victory from Jack Golding, the number 3. And after the race, John Viger caught up with a very happy chappy.
Quite straightforward, just led from the start, had a bit of a challenge from Sam, but he just slid off wide and carried on to the finish.
Fantastic. Okay, so you've obviously enjoyed yourself. Do you like Llandow?
I do, but I always do bad here, so it's a bit better than normal.
So it's the first time you've done very well, and you've done it in style by winning the race. And we move on to Rowra next. And do you like that circuit? Have you been there before?
Yeah, but I think it was 5-6 years ago now, so...
So Mr. Helen Beard, 5th position in the points table, just 16 behind Grant Hunter, who only has 8 more to catch up with that man, Patrick Lay. But it's all about the front 2 in the championship, and Jack Golding is just 1 point behind the title leader, Sam Massey. In part 4, the Masters.